Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence with Just Ask. Hurry back and join us with the Commission for the Blind. Thank you. Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence for Just Ask. Today our guest is Commission for the Blind, Lehman Jones, Region 1 Supervisor, and Gwen McNeil, Region 1 Supervisor Assistant. Hi, Lehman. Hi, Gwen. How are you?
Hi.
Thank you. I'm glad you came to the show. And normally, Lehman, what we do is ask open-ended questions such as, can you give us some insight on your disability? But what I want to start off with you is, can you give us some history on the Commission for the Blind?
Yeah. The Commission for the Blind is a vocational agency with the state of Michigan that has been in existence as a vocational agency since about 1943. It's gone through many different names, primarily though has provided the same basic services since that time. We've been called Office Services for the Blind, Office of Services for the Blind, Bureau of Services. And as of 1978, we became the Commission for the Blind, and we continue to provide vocational services to blind and visually impaired persons in the state of Michigan. Those services include personal adjustment training, that is to help the person to gain skills so that they can live as independent and function independently as possible. Also, we provide vocational training and job placement services so now that a person will learn skills so that they can become gainfully employed, and then the Commission will assist them in finding employment in the area that they've been trained.
Okay, and your involvement, you're the supervisor?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And can you give us some insight on your disability?
I am totally blind. I have just a little light perception, and my visual loss resulted from juvenile cataracts when I was a teenager, just entering high school. Kind of different for me, but since that time, I've been able to make some adjustments, and I've been able to kind of carry on. With my vision at that time, it began to decrease slowly and slowly over a period of years until it's to the point where it is now, where I just have very little light perception.
Okay, but has your disability affected your working abilities or your way of living or anything?
No. With the proper training and adjustments and adaptations and adaptive devices, I've been able to carry on a regular lifestyle and to maintain my employment for several years.
Okay, okay. And so, let me ask Gwen a couple of questions. Gwen, you're the assistant supervisor?
Yes, I am.
In Region 1, and what is your role as assistant supervisor?
Well, I am Lehman's assistant. I do some office management and whatever else is needed as time and designations arise.
Okay. Okay, so basically you travel with Lehman quite a bit in most of his affairs?
No, we have independent functions. Some things we do together, some things we do separately. But our function is outreach, anything that assists our region in running smoothly and getting the services provided to our consumers in a timely fashion.
Okay. And when you say consumers, those are your clients?
Clients, consumers.
Okay. What is the general population? Is it a certain age group that you all service?
We started working with children, depending on which program that you access of ours, from the Youth Low Vision program where we provide glasses to school-age children, all the way up to, we start working with them at 14, 15 years old. We begin a role in their education, not superseding the role that the school itself plays in a child's development, but we try to get an early role so that they know who we are. When the child graduates, we are the follow-along agency afterwards. If we are paying for their college or anything like that, then that's where we come in.
Okay. Now, I noticed I met you all at a conference which was held at UAD of Mercy, and it was given by the Commission of the Blind. And I had a chance to see a lot of the materials that were used, the devices, and I noticed there was a lot of high school students. Now, do you all actually put those functions together, develop
Yes, we
those
do.
type of functions? Okay, and you go through the school system to locate the disabled or the visually impaired students?
We are a part of the school. We work with the school districts. We ask them to provide students to us through Youth Low Vision Outreach. We get names of students, family, friends, programs such as this to make people aware of us and us of them.
Okay. And when you say awareness, is it basically word of mouth services or literature brochure? How does one actually know of the Commission of the Blind?
We get referrals from Social Security, from family, friends, doctors. We'd like more referrals from doctors. Other clients who've been successfully served by us, a variety of places.
Okay.
We have brochures also.
And our brochures we'll send out to anyone who requests them.
Okay. And basically, what is your funding source? Are you funded by any particular agencies, or what is your backing?
We are funded by the federal government, federal and state government. We're approximately 80% federal and 20% state funds.
Okay. Now, I noticed you said you start off basically with teenagers at age 14. Is there a cutoff age limit to the services that you provide?
No, not really. As long as a person can benefit from our services, we can provide them some rehabilitation services. We have a program that's called IL, Independent Living, and for those individuals that are past, 55 and older that may need some assistance in helping them to maintain themselves within their own home, acquiring skills so that they can be as independent and function in their own home environment. And with this program, we'll assist them so that they can then maintain themselves as well as their home. So we run the full gamut, I suppose.
Okay. Now, is the independent living program, is that, we had recently on our show Great Lakes Center for Independent Living, is that in conjunction with them, or is that another agency?
That is a different agency.
Okay.
We are a state. Our program is under the same umbrella as our
We are
Michigan Commission for the Blind is.
Okay. So when you say you work along with agencies such as that, independent living, is that going into the person's private home and assisting them, or is that an outreach program that actually has people come in and learn from a facility and then go back home and still perform the same functions? Is that basically what it is?
Actually, it can be a mixture of both. Our teachers can come to the home and begin to work with the persons, and they do have the option of attending either our center in Kalamazoo for more intensive services, or we have an agreement with Detroit Receiving Hospital to utilize their services for the same training. Then they can go back to their homes or commute during the day and utilize the skills that they're learning with the help of our rehabilitation teachers.
Okay. Now, when you say Detroit Receiving, what is their
Visually handicapped services is housed with Detroit Receiving Hospital, and through a grant from us, they provide personal adjustment services to people within the metropolitan Detroit area.
Okay. Now, how is their information surfaced? Because I'm not even familiar with it. So, is there any way that, how do you come in contact with them yourselves?
Well, it's been, for several years, there's been a standing agreement. They provide the personal adjustment training, such skill training as mobility, communication skills, braille, typing, telling time, use of tape recorders, those kinds of things, as well as adaptive technology today, computers, the use of computers, talking computers, LaunchPad, and those kinds of devices, as well as being able to cook, clean, sew, laundry, and all of those tasks. And that facility, they will provide that kind of training, and this allows a person to function independent within their own home environment. How do we come in contact with them is that this agency has been around for some time, and it was developed for that purpose, to provide that kind of skill training for blind and visually impaired. And they receive funds from the Michigan Commission for the Blind to provide that service. As opposed to our center in Kalamazoo is a part of the Michigan Commission for the Blind. It's called the Michigan Commission for the Blind Training Center. and it's a residential center, and we receive the same kinds of services at that facility, although it's larger than what the Visually Handicapped Services Program are.
Okay, now are sign language interpreters still used in your services at all, or do you have any relationship with sign language interpreters?
When we're working with deaf-blind clients, yes.
Okay, so if it's a combination of hearing loss and visually impaired loss,
Yes.
then you have the sign language interpreter.
And we have a deaf-blind unit that is based in Lansing but services the entire state, that where we have designated clients, counselors and teachers that work with the deaf-blind population.
Okay, okay. Well, that's good. Okay. Now, I was just wondering, because with all the new technology and devices that you can use, the PCs and, you know, the telesensory computers and things like that, I was wondering, was the services now for interpreters not less of a value, but not needed as much as it used to be?
Oh, no. There will always be a need. You can't always bring the technology with you everywhere you go, and there's still the human interaction that's necessary, such as in meetings and things like that.
Okay.
Or presentations such as yours where somebody deaf may want to know what we're doing.
Okay, okay. What about the fact that I see it sometimes that there is, what do they call it? Is it a companion or interpreter when a person goes to the classroom with the visually impaired student? What are they titled?
Often they title it as a note taker, basically, because if they're going to, in particular, if you're speaking of a college setting, then they may have a person that will take notes for them during the class, you know, as the professor lectures and then someone take notes for them. But in some instances, often we encourage the client or the consumer to be as independent as possible so that they can take their own notes through whichever means possible. With technology today, it is possible because of the variety of note-taking, electronic note-taking devices, and so they were able to take their notes themselves and then transfer it into whatever form they want to.
Okay. Any working relationship with Paws with the Cause or Leader Dogs? Is there a working relationship with you all, with any of those agencies, or?
Leader Dogs services a lot of our clients, and a few of our clients who might have additional mobility disabilities have Paws with the Cause.
Okay.
But it's not something that, they're not a part of our agency, but we will work with any agency that assists our consumers.
Okay. Okay. Well, Lehman and Gwen, we're going to go to one of our public service announcements. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back.
Vince, that new dummy cam is great.
Yeah, it'll sure give people a whole new outlook on what it's like when you don't wear a safety belt.
I think they'll get the picture.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
This is where I live. There are lots of doctors and machines for me and the other kids. Last week, a guy named Mike came. He took us all on a camping trip.
Mike gives up a weekend a month to help a disabled child, but he gets back a feeling that lasts forever.
When I get better, you know what? I'm gonna take Mike fishing.
To find out what you can do in your community, call the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.
Hi, and welcome back to the second half of our show. Our guest today is Michigan Commission for the Blind, Lehman Jones and Gwen McNeil. For those of you who have missed the first half, we are going to try to catch up on some information for you at the end of the show. Basically, we want to start off in the second half of the show discussing some of the brochures that Lehman and Gwen has brought to our attention. The first one is Vocational Rehabilitative Services, a cooperative venture. Can you get a close-up on this, and which one of you want to elaborate mostly on this particular brochure and tell us what it's about?
Well, that brochure is the main brochure of our agency because it really focuses on helping to assist a blind person to the point where that they can be personal as well as economically independent. Here we know that there are a variety of training programs a person can participate in based on their skills and abilities. and resulting into a variety of types of employment. We use a lot of a number of community agencies to assist individuals in acquiring necessary skills, such as some vocational facilities, colleges, vocational schools, universities, resulting in jobs such as janitors, dishwashers, nurses' aides, nurses' assistants, occupational therapy assistants, physical therapy assistants, computer programmers, computer analysts.
I see this list is pretty extensive here.
I know, yes, I know I'm going to miss some, so I just to name a few.
No, but you have some very good and sound study jobs here. System procurement officer,
Yes.
occupational therapist, vendor operator, computer operator, electronic technician, and landscape gardener, store manager, physical therapist, assembly worker, social worker, and so on. So in actuality, a person who is low vision or visually impaired can become employed in these fields without any difficulties?
Oh.
Okay.
Yes. And-
Okay. Do you have any problems, and one I wanted to mention on this list was the dictaphone transcriptionist. Okay. I'm not sure what the dictaphone transcriptionist is, but is that the person in the courtroom or something, or?
There have been some blind court stenographers, but
Okay.
if you're looking more like medical transcriptionists that may work for private doctors or hospitals transcribing case records. Also legal assistants where lawyers may dictate case records and transcribe. They can be transcribed from the dictaphone.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
college students who don't type.
Okay. Is there any problems in trying to seek employment for persons who are visually impaired?
Yes. Mostly is the attitude of people today. We know that, even though almost we are in the 21st century, we still find that people view persons with different disabilities, in particular those disabilities that is obvious, that it's a little difficult for them to do different things. So one has to sell their skills and their abilities, not their disability, in order to be successful in the work world.
Right. Okay. Now, on this brochure here, you have helping you gain independence. I wanted to get some information on this one in particular, so can you give us some?
Okay, this brochure is about our Michigan Commission for the Blind Training Center that's located in Kalamazoo. That's a residential facility for clients who feel that they're able to go to Kalamazoo. It offers personal adjustment training with emphasis on communication skills, mobility, occupational therapy, woodworking, the whole gamut of skills, as we mentioned earlier, that a person would need to be independent. Also housed in that building is a computer training center for those clients who are computer literate, who want additional training in computer software that might be useful for somebody with visual disability.
Now, I notice also this brochure has after-hour activities.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and it lists the activities. Clients are encouraged to participate in bowling, horseback riding, go-ball, bicycling, jogging, canoeing, cross-country, downhill skiing, and many other recreational activities in the community. Now, what is the going rate for bicycling and and bowling?
With a bicycle built for two, no problem.
Okay.
Yes.
I kind of wondered about that, but I'm sure that's nice.
And
I'm
bowling with railings.
Okay.
There's a bowling
Right.
league in this area that's very active.
Oh, really? Okay.
Right.
Well, you all have to keep us posted on your upcoming events or activities, and we'll definitely come out and get some footage on it and bring it back and show it to our public.
You mentioned go-ball. One of our staff was on the Olympic go-ball team for the visually impaired and came home with a bronze medal.
All right. That's good. That's
Yes.
great to know. Okay. Is there any activities coming up anytime soon, or?
We have one activity that's coming up very soon, and that's the blind water ski that will be on August 2nd at, where is it?
Grosse Hill.
Grosse Hill.
Okay.
And so, that might be something,
Okay, it's August the 2nd?
right.
Okay. You have a number for us where we can contact persons to find out, anything else or
They
participation?
can call our office. At this point, we have a full house, but should we have some cancellations, then we'd be more than
Okay.
happy to insert someone in that slot.
Okay, well, we like to air your number at the end of the show or,
Okay.
right
Okay.
before it. Okay, now this brochure here, Independent Living Rehabilitation Program, is this the one in reference to a person living on their own and doing?
Right, that's the one that's in reference to that, and we are basically talking about seniors, those
Okay.
persons that are 55 years old and or older that want to maintain themselves within their own home. Rehabilitation teacher, which is an independent living specialist, will work with them in their home so that they'll be able to maintain themselves, through these same communication skills, mobility skills, activities of daily living, that's cooking, cleaning, and all of those varieties, as well as get them involved in some community activities, support groups, other kinds of groups, so that they have some activity to carry on a normal life.
Okay. Now you said that's basically the age group 55 and over. So does that mean you have a particular agency or contractor that does the 55 and older group?
No, it's a part of our, it's another program within the Commission for the Blind. It's the IL, Independent Living Program. Those persons that are not 55, we have rehabilitation teachers that will work with them that are a part of which are, it's kind of interesting, but it's a part of our vocational rehabilitation program. They will assess the clients and the consumers' skills and abilities and needs and make recommendations, and either the teacher will provide that service or they will be referred to one of the facilities that we mentioned, the Visually Handicapped Services or the Michigan Commission for the Blind Training Center. The person that's 55 years and old and are older may also work with a rehabilitation teacher, but frequently they will work with the independent living specialist to gain the same skills.
Okay. In this last brochure here, a valuable addition to your business. And this one is in relation to employment.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That's our Business Enterprise Program, which again is a service provided by our agency, but a separate component based on the Randolph-Shepard Act. I think, Marsha, if you've been in some of the post offices or state buildings where you've seen concession stands, those are some of our Business Enterprise programs,
Okay.
where the operators are trained to, in essence, run their own businesses.
Okay.
And based on a seniority system, they progress up the economic ladder with more responsibilities, greater volumes in the stands, and develop a seniority system, and it is full-time employment.
Okay, I've been in the state building and went upstairs on, I forgot what floor it is.
13.
But yeah, and noticed the staff is very helpful, courteous, clean, and definitely more easy and willing to work with and get along with better. And I think what's amazing to some people is how the blind counts money. Okay?
We'll let
Well,
Lehman answer that one.
Lehman, do you want to tell them the trick on how to count money?
That's one of those skills. That's a part
Okay.
of those daily living skills that they are taught. That, in either one of the training facilities, for is coins, how to identify, pennies, dimes, nickels, nickels, dimes, quarters, and so forth, is through a touch method. The pennies are smaller than, pennies are smooth, dimes are ridges, nickels are smooth, quarters are ridges,
Right.
and so, through that process. For paper currency, they're taught then how to fold, dollars, $5, $10, in different ways, and so that way they'll be able to identify their
Okay.
denominations.
Well, we
And for
just
the-
decided to tell the public so they won't think that, the blind doesn't know any better.
There are also
we know.
currency identification machines, too.
Okay, okay. Well, in the closing of the show, would either one of you like to tell us what your future plans are or the directions of Commission of the Blind?
Sure, we'd be glad to. The future plans of the Commission for the Blind is to provide vocational services to as many visually impaired and blind persons in the state of Michigan as possible, and in the most efficient and effective way. Today, consumer choice is very live and well throughout the United States. And so because of the consumers having a greater voice in their rehabilitation program, which they really should have, it helps us to be able to be more open, more energetic in providing the kinds of services because we are able to access services from any place throughout the country wherever services are available. And through contracts of such, we were able to provide these persons with the needed kinds of training in order that they will become personally independent as well as economically independent. And that's the goal of the Michigan Commission for the Blind, is to provide that vehicle.
All right. Well, Lehman and Gwen, we want to thank you so much for coming on the show, and we'd like to invite you back at any time. And please keep us informed of any upcoming events that you have, and we'll be more than happy to mention them along the way and come out and catch some footage if we can for future shows. Once again, we'll give your address and phone number at the end of the show for anyone who is in need of some information, and definitely we'll give out your brochure information so they can contact you. As usual, you all know that if anyone's interested in coming on the show, just ask. You may reach us at area code 248-988-0250 if you'd like to be a participant guest on the show, or if you have any questions or comments, please call 248-988-0250. And as I always say, if you know someone with a disability, don't be afraid to ask. Just ask. I'm your host, Marsha Florence. Thank you.